I know. I've grown more hair and more beard, gotten younger, and I've borrowed Dave Rush's studio. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Mike Meyers Ask Me Anything, a live interactive show where you talk to Mike Meyers and he answers your questions and comments. Except for the moment, Mike's not here. We're expecting him to turn up sometime. I haven't actually talked with him today. We kind of left things off. Sorry about that spring noise. I'm working on it. We kind of set this up on Friday. I'm going to keep the big chair warm today, and Mike will turn up when he turns up. And we never worked out the logistics or the details of how it's going to happen. So I just, he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. We smart enough to make things happen on our own and interrupt each other if necessary. So, hey, everybody, good to see you. I hope you had a good weekend. I had a weekend. Oh, man. I've got a side hustle. It's we rent PA systems and dance lights and up lights and stages and lots of other goodies. And things, of course, got kind of slow during COVID. Things have come out of their shells right now. And this is October and fall. It's wedding season in my part of the world. And so we did a stage gig this weekend. On paper, it's really simple. Deliver 9 stage platforms to a venue, set them up, and go away. And usually when we do that, it's an hour event to do a 9 platform setup. But because of COVID, the stages haven't been out in COVID, and they've been in the warehouse sitting there unused for the last almost 2 years. When I say warehouse, I mean big trailer and a tarp. So we started getting ready for this a couple of weeks ago. We pulled the tarps off and said, oh my gosh, look, there's green mold on them, and a little bit of the hinge areas are rusted. We're going to have to get in there a weekend before the show and get them all cleaned off. Well, life gets in the way and work gets in the way. And so cleanup wasn't possible before we arrived at the venue. So nice and early, I got an early delivery time slot, the earliest that was available. So we got there very early in the morning, and we took the stages off the trailer one by one and scrubbed them and oiled them and did everything, and then got them all in. So instead of, the usual hour or so, it took 2.5 hours, but now they're cleaned and oiled and ready to go for the next gig. And there are lots of them up and coming. So it was a really pretty gig. It was a nice wedding reception, a very large band. And that's why we had to bring the big stage. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, just a few people here. This is the usual kind of start for a Mike show. So we'll vamp for a little bit before we get into anything meaty. I'm not doing any special presentations this week. Mike does his own special presentations on his show, and he hasn't asked me to do anything, and so I won't. But I will remind you, for those of you who are here, what a list of things that he has to talk about in near future. Let me pull that list up. Basically what happens is, he'll say on a show, hey, Dave, write this down. Remind me, we got to do a show on this or that or the other thing. And so I think I've got a list of 7 or 8 things here. I've just kicked off a message to Steve Nicholson. We're going to try and have him on next Monday or next Wednesday, and working the details on that. Man, he is so fun. If you have not seen Steve Nicholson in the AMA, either solo or with Mike, you are missing a treat. So as soon as we get that firmed up, both Mike and I will make full announcements, and you'll see it on the banner page before the show happens. Going to be a ton of fun. There was a question that came up a little while back from XAM, who wanted to know how to push or deploy a .ms file as a GPO, group policy object, via Active Directory, and could you demo? And I thought Mike was going to say, that's well beyond the objectives and let's blow it off. But Mike took to that like a fish to water. And so that's on his list of things to talk about. Then there was a question that came up. He wants to talk about the difference between FAAS and SIAM. FAAS is a software triggered event triggered software, actually. So when a certain thing happens, might be an event like something as simple as a time or date, or it might be something that happened. There was a detection of an intrusion or whatever it is, some triggering event that causes a program to run. So we call that FAAS, and that's function as a service. And it's a cloud computing service, allows you to run code in response to events without complex infrastructure. And then there was SIAM, and the interesting thing, I think, was the question is, what's the difference between FAS and SIAM? SIAM is service integration and management, and explaining the difference between them is kind of like explaining the difference between, I don't know, what's the difference between an elephant and a field of wheat? While they both exist and they both have mass and they both occupy space, the similarities pretty much end there. And it's not one of those questions that you should be asking, what's the difference between these things? They are so different that they don't really belong in the same sentence, possibly in the same conversation. I might, if I were going to create a course around them or that would include them, I might talk about them in the same chapter, but and then there was another one, NMS versus and SIM. Sorry, that's so not SIAM, but SIM. Mike's going to do a presentation on that. There's a long-standing ones we've been working on, certification pathways, that basically says, I want to do this job. What are the appropriate certifications to get me from here to there? And he has a number of those for some different jobs. One of the things that we have never actually done, and I'm pushing him on this one, and I think this is going to be an early one. Many of you have been through this process where you've got to set up an exam, right? I want to join the CompTIA Elite, A+ certified, Net+ certified, Sec+ certified, some of the other certifieds. How do I do that? And many of you have this one method that you've learned, and cool, that works great. I know how to set up an at-home one. Others, I know how to do an in-purpose. So I think Mike wants to do a whole, everything you needed to know about signing up for a CompTIA exam. I did a show some time ago on boot repair utilities like BootRec and their special switches, fix MBR and so forth. Mike wants to redo that one, get it updated. So we're going to do that in one of the shows. I'm not sure that's actually going to be shown. Deep dive into file systems internals. All right, there's more, but you get the idea, kinds of things. So if you've never been here before, this is the Mike Meyers Show. I am not Mike Meyers. My name is Dave Rush. I work for Mike, or I guess I work with Mike now. Mike has moved on to the parent company. He's no longer my immediate boss. His company owns my company, but the management doesn't flow down like that. Nonetheless, he gets here twice a week to talk with everybody in a real interactive format. You guys chat and he answers questions on anything pretty much technologically speaking, and no religion, politics, or controversials. Though sometimes somebody will ask a question and get him triggered. That's why I live in the back channel, I can't rein him in, but I can point him out that others might rein him in if they had power and authority. So anyways, Mike is not here at the moment. I don't know if he's going to turn up this hour. That was certainly the plan. And the same goes for Wednesday. The world holds its collective breath to see what happens. But in the meantime, I am keeping the big chair warm. I will happily answer your technology questions. Our bailiwick is CompTIA certifications, A+, Network+, Security+. I can do other pluses to some extent, and I can certainly do other technologies. I want to talk about ham radio, or everybody knows my passion is Raspberry Pi computers, but what have you got? I am fair game for technology. I understand a little bit about diesel electric locomotives. Okay, that's about how much I understand. Oh yeah, how to VPNs. We got to do VPN. I got to do a VPN show tomorrow night. Sorry, just checking notes here for something. There we go. All right, well, let's see who has arrived. Tullowit, of course, here at the beginning, before everybody, half an hour before me or Mike, who suggests on the minute, let's do this. I think I heard that they are doing a new Doom, right? Is that no? That's Come Get Some, right? Come get some. Let's do this. You know, obviously, okay, everybody, yeah, does it, and everybody knows the phrase, and there's probably some originator of the phrase, but I hear that every week because Friday night, I'm ready for a brain break. If we're not going out, we'll flip on the tube and surf. And we always wind up surfing past a local retro channel here that spends 24 hours a day doing History Channel reality shows. And on Friday nights, they do Forged in Fire. So one of the tests is always, let's do this. Garda Burgess, good South African name. I know. Nice to see you back, my friend. Andre de Goyer, just in time, eating dinner while watching pulled pork, baked potatoes with mushroom. You're cruel. I can do the mushrooms. I can do the pork. Can't do the potatoes. Onion. In English, swap out that U for an O, my friend. You're speaking Portuguese again. Garlic and cheese and white vino. Very nice. That's a nice dinner. Edgar Salinas, hello. Welcome back. TD Wash. I know. I should pronounce your whole name. TD Washington. Sorry. I see some of these things and, you know, the mind just has created my own nickname for you. So I apologize. Patricia Grace in from Florida, drying out. Chronic Code X. Absolutely awesome name. Anyone know a coupon for the Mike Meyers Network Plus 008 Udemy course? No, we don't have coupons for them, but that's not the way to do it. Coupons, schmoopons. The thing to do is Udemy has a sale every other week. Sometimes they do 1-day sales and they extend them into 2-day sales. And sometimes there's nothing on sale for a week. Look, wait. You'll never wait more than 10 days for their next sale to come along. They have super sales where they put courses as low as $10 and other ones where they'll be anywhere from the 10 to $14. But how do you go wrong buying a Mike Myers 60-hour course for $15? That's good for life. So just hang on till the next sale. I don't know if there's one right now. I think the last time I saw one, it closed a day or two ago. So you just hang on 6 days, something like that. It'll come up. Just check every day. Got you posted twice in a row. Way to go, man. Reading questions. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Chronic Code X was funny enough. I just went to check out and it was listed as a possible add-on for $14. I would call that noted. You're not Mike. I fooled you. I know. It's the voice. So what you have to understand is, and ready, the cornerstone of there. Now I've exhausted my Mikeisms. Except for I tell you the story about the toilet that leaked on the millions of dollars worth of equipment. In his A+ book. Read the A+ book. Hey, so Mike wasn't the senior author on the latest eighth book. He certainly contributed. He wrote many chapters. He helped our new person, Dr. Melissa. Oh man, I'm brain farting on her name. Let it go. Anyways, Dr. Melissa. She's always going to be Dr. Melissa to me. Become the new chief writer and head of the department and all that good stuff. But I think the interesting thing is, you know, there will probably be some Mike stories in this latest 1008 or 1108 book. Let's try it again. 11OX book. There we go. I haven't read the book yet. I wrote my chapter and I got to review some sections of some chapters, but that's it. I really got to sit down and read it, because I suspect, since Mike, he wrote some chapters in there, to be sure. It's a, what, 32 chapter book, something like that, 26, 32, whatever it is. So there will be Mike stories in there, but going forward, Mike will not be participating much in writing the book. So I don't think we're going to see the old Mike stories in there anymore. By the way, I'm contractually obligated to say Mike every third sentence. I stunned you, did I, Edgar? TD Washington says exactly what I said. Just wait it out. Less than $15, right on the money with me. And Chronic says, hey, I just went to check, found it. So very good. Joanna Marcotte, do you happen to know when Mike will update his material from 10:01, 10:02 to 11:01, 11:02? Yes, I know exactly all of them. Huzzah! So, things you need to know. We have available right now, direct from Total Seminars. Go to totalsem.com. You can get Total Tester online. It's a single package, 1,100, 1,200, however many questions are in there. Don't hold me to the number because I didn't check the actual hard number, but it's always over 1,000 questions on both 11:01 and 11:02. It's our Total Tester product. And because of that, you can say, I only want 11:01 questions, or I only want 11:02 questions. I only want questions from 11:02 domain 2. It's very, very flexible and configurable. So they're all there and available. The ebook went on sale, I think Wednesday, only directly through Total Seminars at this time. It'll be available quickly through the other venues. But if you want Mike Meyers, A+ all-in-one 11OX certification prep guide in electronic format, you can get that right now. Go to totalseminars.com and get that. Hard copy book, still waiting on printers. When the printers get their paper somewhere in the November, December timeframe, they will print however millions of copies the publisher says to print, and then they have to get distributed to all the world and ready to get delivered for home, basically from Amazon, all their sources though. And what I'm seeing, I don't have a direct communication line with the publisher, so I get the same information that everybody else does. I just go and look at the pre-order page on Amazon, and that says the hard copies are going to be delivered in February. What about Udemy, you ask? I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, we got 2 practice tests available to enroll right now on Udemy. There's an 11:01 practice test. There's 3 90-question tests in that one. And same thing for 11:02. It's another course. It's a practice test course. So it's 3 90-question practice tests. As for the video courses themselves, they started uploading right now, this morning, today. There's a lot. There's a lot. Okay. However many hundred of episodes when you consider both courses. So they're going up. They've created all of the forms and the entries and the splash pages and the registration pages. So I am told it will be ready for enrollment by the end of this week, if not sooner. As soon as it all goes up, day or 2, whatever that takes, then Udemy has to look it over, and they don't look over every minute and every word, because they would be there for 172 hours or whatever it may shake out to be. But they just want to make sure that we don't have any advertising in there for paid products and stuff like that. They'll give it their blessing, and then kawoosh. So by the end of the week, that's everything, right? Got hard copy books. We got the ebook. Ebook is available right now. Total Tester full version is available from totalsem.com. The 2 90-question tests, one on 11:01 and one on 11:02, available on Udemy right now. And the Udemy video course is available for enrollment by end of this week. I'm out of breath. It's almost time to shut down the show after a long answer like that, huh? I know, I amuse myself. I super scrolled. Hang on, gotta catch. Okay, reading questions here. Go it. My use of let's do this is Leroy Jenkins. Absolutely. Of course it is. Andre Onion, Louisiana Cajun barbecue rub in there. All right, got that Louisiana. Nice and spicy. I'm good for that. TD Washington, it's okay. I sometimes use, T-Wash online. Very good. My dad's an Army buddy called him Wash. Outstanding. I'm part of the crowd. Thank you. Chris, very nice. Oh, wait, if you want to see Mike with hair, check out the video I just linked in the Discord channel. I can take a hint. We'll put this Discord channel links up in just a second. Jethro Gibbs, not Jethro Tull. Oh, that's right. Mark Harmon is Jethro Gibbs, isn't he? Nobody that age is named Jethro. Right? The only person that you would name Jethro, or the only reason you would name somebody Jethro in the last 50 years is because of your love of the Beverly Hillbillies. Abu Bakr Al-Haj, salam alaikum, my friend. Good to see you back as ever and always. My pleasure. Enjoyed the videos from 10OX. Almost probably as much as we enjoy making them. Hello, sir. Okay, new ones are not as great. Here, I'm going to grab something. Stand by. I'll be off camera for 5 seconds or so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Call it 5.5. Something to share with you, which you won't care about in the slightest. But for me, I am just giddy as a schoolgirl about this. Arr, Jethro Tull. Arr. By the way, look him up. Jethro Tull was a 13th century agronomist. I'm a huge Jethro Tull, Ian Anderson fan. I can do that all day. Well, my kid would have killed me if I named him Jethro, but it sure crossed my mind. Jethro Rush. I've amused myself. All right. I need my video feedback screen. There it is. Now I can see what I can see. Hey, look at that. Is it a hat? No, it doesn't stay on very well. Needs tape. Is it a thumb warmer? No. 2 thumbs, perhaps. But no. It goes with this. I have been on the hunt for 2 years for this. Now, it's very easy to find. I could go pick one up first thing in the morning. However, as many people know, I am Captain Cheapskate. And so I have been waiting to get this microphone. This is an Electro Voice RE20 microphone. It has 4 purposes. 2 of them, for all intents and purposes, are the same: podcasting and broadcasting. It's also an excellent kick drum mic and an excellent acoustic mic. The specs on this thing are not like any mic that most of you have ever played with. It's it's not utilitarian like a Shure SM58 or 57 or anything like that. This is, pattern on here is so close to perfect. The frequency response is so close to perfect. And so I got that for you, just for you and nobody else but you. Why am I using it today? I could actually hook it up right now in place of the one that I have, but this thing is so sensitive that the sound of my voice making the springs on my arm vibrate would get picked up by this. So I ordered my shock mount this morning. As soon as that comes in, then that will go online, and I will sound like your favorite broadcaster, whoever that may be. All right, let's get a couple of links posted, and then. First post, we got specials. So before you go out and buy Total Tester online and the new book, there's another way. Oh, heck, let's put the share screen up on there. Why not? I just posted this in the YouTube chat. Oh my gosh. Okay. Almost brought up the secret code there. All right. So just because you're kind enough to watch the show, we've got a special for you. You can pick a course of study, A+, Net Plus, Systems Architecture Associate, AWS, whatever's in this list. And that includes the new 1101. Go to totalsem.com and pick up 2 items. The ebook, you can't pick up the hard copy book for this thing. Put it in the basket and then pick up the matching Total Tester online practice test. Put that in the basket. And then when you check out, use the discount code this week, just started today, Volcano, because today is the day in the year 79 that the volcano, that Vesuvius erupted and destroyed Pompeii. So we are marking that. We're not honoring it, but we are marking it. That'll be good for all week. That'll get you 50% off of those 2 items. So that's what I want you to do. If you're studying those things, get the ebook, get the practice test, and you're off and running. Before you do that, wait until the show ends, because I'm going to give away a practice test during the show. Any practice test that you desire. All of these exist, and there are other ones. Just go to totalsem.com and take a look at all of our practice tests, and I shall offer you any of those of your choice to the winner of today's contest today. By the way, while I got this up, if you would like to get in touch with myself or Mike, I should do a slide with Mike's first. You can email him directly, michaelm@totalsem.com or michaelm@nationalcyber.com. Don't do them both. They link to each other. Likewise for me, my company address, daver@totalsem.com, my personal address, drushtx@yahoo. I'm always good for a question there. All right, stop sharing. Shrink that down. And let me put that as a link, because I like you so much. And then I'll put the link for the Discord invitation, because I know there are 5 people right now watching and stamping their hands saying, why hasn't he put the Discord invitation? Why hasn't he talked about that yet? I know, coming up right now. So I just posted my email address and my LinkedIn contact information. This is Mike's show. You need Mike's contact information and LinkedIn. Let me do that. There we go. So there's Mike's info. There exists, starting about 2 years ago, some of the folks kept asking, hey, can we extend the show somehow? We want to keep talking about things that Mike talks about. We want to talk about Mike. And so one of the regulars here set up a Discord server. And that grew, and oops, I just posted the wrong thing. I posted the link to my Zapto server. Sorry, here's the Discord link there. And that grew very rapidly, 500 people or so. Then somebody lost the keys to the castle and they had to blow it away and recreated an identical one within a couple of days. And so I've just posted for you the permalink to it. Come on over, join them. It has nothing to do with Total Seminars as far as owning or operating. It's called the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel because it's unofficial. It's a bunch of guys over there and women who run it, who built it, who moderate it. Many of them are here watching the show and wondering why I hadn't posted the link for it yet. Lots and lots of forums on there, Linux forums and tech support forums, and help me with this computer and let's study together. And. So I encourage you to come on over there, join the fun, join the education, come on over with mics and cameras if you like. We have get-togethers. And speaking of which, last Friday of the month, I'm going to hold an unofficial Halloween party over there. Show up at the Discord channel with costume. And we're not going to talk about the show. Actually, we're going to talk about anything we want. There's no contest or anything. We're just going to turn up and shoot the breeze for a while in your Halloween costume. We'll give you a chance to get some opinions from strangers before you go to the big Halloween party this weekend, eh? I don't know why you're there. I don't need you. Reading questions. The thunder and the lightning. David Zintera is back. Long time no see, my friend. It's been a few weeks. So, sorry, I said 13th century. He's 17th century agronomist. That's right. Andre, I like the ones with Kate. Bobby McGee. Abhidanaza and Doc Millard the best. There is some show you guys are talking about that I don't know the actors for. Yeah, it's that Mike did. It's makes me very happy. You can pick the ebook, print it out, and there's your hard copy. I think they make that challenging to do, but I don't know. I've never screwed around with that. On Steam, which Senor Pepe is Mike? There is quite a list. Really? Well, it's the one that's Senor Pepe with nothing before or after. I heard that today Mike is walking through forest of palm tree apartments. I believe Mike, I don't know where he is. He may be here in Houston. He may be traveling to Arkansas. He may be in Arkansas, but he's somewhere between my house and Arkansas, Little Rock. Andre, I got a 3-4 second lag between live chat and video. I can't fix that. That's YouTube. All blame. Sorry. Sorry, Tullywood. I have a gig coming up this weekend. I am DJing for a friend's wedding. In fact, it's Mike's niece who's getting married this Saturday. And they foolishly asked me to DJ. So I have had my head in music for the last couple of weeks. I needed to drastically update my music library for doing live DJ work. But I can't stay there. So I should have gone Bungle in the Jungle, but with Lightning and Thunder, that's Imagine Dragons. And right now, a much more popular song than Bungle in the Jungle. Although if the two were on side by side and I surfed and heard one, heard the other, I'd be over on Jethro. That was the palm tree reference. Yeah. Okay. The monkeys seem willing to strike up the tune. Rough voice. Don't do that. You'll drive everybody away. I can't tell you what I want to tell you. So be it. Checking my notes here. How are we doing here? It's about 30. We'll do a contest in a few minutes here. Up and coming this Friday on Drama. Dave Rush asked me anything. I'm going to do the last piece of the Ansible shows. We're going to provision some Raspberry Pi. So we did last week, we did automating the SSH key exchange. The week before that, we did how to let Ansible use account names and passwords to establish SSH connections between an Ansible controller and a host. The week before that, we did how to install and test Ansible, the Ansible installation. So finally, we're going to get down to, all right, let's make Ansible do something fun and useful. That's coming up this Friday, 2 o'clock right here at 2 o'clock my time, Central Daylight Saving Time. Hey, we've only got a couple more weeks of that. November 6th, for those of you here in the US anyways, who change clocks, we're going to fall back on Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever is November 6th. I had some other date-oriented stuff that I was going to share, but it has escaped me for the momento. Let's get that kind of ready to go, since we're going to do a contesto. And let's get this ready to go. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a great place to do here. Lightning and the thunder. Now it's running through my head. Thanks a lot, Tullywood. Oh gosh, do we get to kill him again? Sorry about this, idiot. All right, first of all, he's dead. Now we get rid of him and kill him. All right. The Russian bots are dead. Sorry about that. Thank you for the thickness reference. Hey, for those of you who don't know, Tell what's got me on a Jethro Tull jag, so I'm going to do that. Thick as a brick. If you've heard thick as a brick on radio or podcast or whatever, they always do the first couple of minutes of it and then cut it off. It's a 45-minute song done. It's a single song done on both sides of the album originally. Sit down with your favorite ice cold beverage or sipping beverage. Of course, you can play it through in its entirety now. You don't have to walk over and flip the album upside down after the first half. And it is just truly enjoyable. I'm going to be Dave Rush again. No costume repeats, though it was a good costume. I got something prepared. Good, be good. Okay, good. Me too. Hey, you set up RetroPie for the kids. Very cool. You've got a longer attention span in 72. Yeah, there was nothing else to do. We had no internet. Cable was barely coming into existence. We had no videotape. So yeah, that was it for recorded media for the masses. It was either that or go outside and play baseball. Oh, say it ain't so. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's do a contest. I would like to give away a Total Tester online package of your choice. And you know how it works, but there's one or two. Hey, look at that. I'm going to try this one. Rihanna Mingy. Let's go with Minge. Yes, you should try to go for it and get your Sec Plus too. Yep, bots are back. We got them dead. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a question, which I'm going to even put up on the screen for you. It's a multiple choice question. There is one correct answer that you're going to select from. Post your answer in the chat feed, and I will select a winner whose name makes me happy. Not necessarily the first person who gets it right, because if the first person who gets it right has won 10 times this year, I would rather give it to the second person who gets it right, who's never won or has only won once. Okay, so that's the rules of the game. We try to make it fair, but we also try to make it even, right? When you get done, I'm going to put up a page and a post on how to collect your winnings. I'll let you know who the winner is and what the winning answer is. And you're going to send me an email with some information in it, and you will get your free access, 90-day access to the Total Tester of your choice, Chester of your choice. There we go. That'll be good for 90 days from the time we issue your credentials. Today's question comes from 220.11.0X. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I just let the system pick for me. I do a practice test when I'm looking for questions, and I let it mix and match them both. So could be either. All right, let me check, make sure there's no more questions here that I need to address before we throw this thing up. So you've been doing IT for 5 years, getting into my A+ with help from Mike's videos on Udemy. First of all, thank you for that, sure. But now an opportunity for network security has come up. Take advantage. If you don't need the foundation of A+ for a particular opportunity, cool bananas. If you're trying to get Network Plus, CompTIA has a recommended amount of experience, and it's 2 things in their recommendation: A+ certification, and they don't say this, but obviously, or equivalent knowledge and experience. And then they want you to have a year's worth of networking support. Wait a minute, I can't do that. I'm trying to get a job in networking. Well, understand where CompTIA is coming from, excuse me, on these things. Back before there were books and courses, they had this certification, and they said, look, if you want to pass our certification exam, here's what you're going to need in order to do that. The equivalent knowledge of A+ and about a year's worth of working in network support. And with those 2 things under your belt, you should be able to go in and do well on the test. Well, over the years, the tests have gotten harder and harder because they've created more and more objectives, and lots of people like Total Seminars have gone in and created books and courses and things like that. So the book is your year's worth of experience. So You can't just, there are people who've studied the book and passed the Network Plus. It's a lot harder than those people who studied or achieved their A+ certification first. Again, that is a CompTIA recommendation, and it's there on purpose because they plan on that being foundational. They're going to build questions that are based on the fact that you already know all the stuff you need to know from A+ Core 1 and A+ Core 2. Now, here comes the Network Plus. We're going to add on to that. But that doesn't make it impossible to pass Net Plus without that background. People have certainly done so with a good book and good training materials. Maybe from like, oh, I don't know, Total Seminars, our all-in-one Network Plus book, and the videos to help provide some emphasis on highly testable content. Certainly practice tests. Sitting on the park. Are we going to do Jethro Tull all day? Because I'd love to. But I got other pieces of things to do here. Dave, you're confusing the Gen Z. Yep. Both sides of an album. I always had my record player right next to my dial telephone, my pulse dial. Y'all are hilarious. Probably steal the candy from, oh, all right, enough. Garda, I went to Tull concert in Harrogate, England back in 91. We lived there for years. They did 20-minute version of it. The missus and I last year went and caught Ian Anderson doing Jethro Tull with, you know, the new band for the most part. What a show. He is in his 70s. He can't get those high notes anymore. Same for all these other old rockers who are trying to do their stuff when they wrote them when they still had a tenor voice. One of them, which one? Oh, I remember which one. Aqualung. Some of the stuff in Aqualung is so high that he didn't even try it. He didn't even sing it down an octave. He had a tenor young man sing it as a recording with a video. And so when certain of those verses came in, the video would go on screen behind him and the audio from that would do the tenor parts. What a fun show though. Wow, he was good. Andre de Goyer shooting him down. Nice. All right, Patricia Grace got to go. Catch you. We'll see you again on Wednesday, and we'll see you for drama. I'm working for Montgomery County, just north of you guys. I was in the wedding that I worked this weekend was up in Montgomery at the farmhouse on Old Highway 105. So I probably passed your house. Cool. Songs from the wood. Songs from the wood make you feel much better than you could know. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. I will personally do no more Tull references. Reading questions here. More like west of me, way west. Ocean in between. Yeah, of course. Too old for Instagram, too young to die. I didn't do the reference. I just read it, but that's funny. That's hilarious. In fact, kudos to you. Hey, let's do this contest. Okay, your offices are on 105. So I was like, 105 is different than Old Highway 105. And I assumed that they were the same when I first got the details. And then I looked it up, of course, this weekend before we did the long, lonely drive up there and discovered it's a tiny little spur right parallel to 105. But now, all right, enough of that nonsense. You guys don't care. So let's do this contest. It's going to be a contest question from 22011OX. It's not too hard of a question. And your goal is to post one answer one time in the chat feed, and I will select a winner from there. So let's get this thing on the screen. Technology. Man, imagine trying to do something like this in 1972. Here we go. So this is multiple choice. You're going to choose one answer from this 22011OX question. Type in the correct answer. The question: you have just installed a new toner cartridge in your laser printer. You print a test page to check that everything is working correctly, but a blank sheet of paper is your result. What is the first thing you should check? Answer choices. Shake the toner cartridge to loosen up the toner. Reinstall your printer driver. Make sure the cartridge shipping tab has been removed. Replace the transfer corona wire. Let's run through that one more time. You've just installed a new toner cartridge in your laser printer. You print a test page to check that everything is working correctly, but a blank sheet of paper is your result. What is the first thing that you should check? Choices. Shake the toner cartridge to loosen up the toner. Reinstall your printer driver. Make sure the cartridge shipping tab has been removed. Replace the transfer corona wire. All right, let's see who's answering and see what we got. And again, just because you see somebody else's answer that you think is right, put yours in there too, because I might not pick them. I may know them as serial winners. All right, I'm just watching answers come rolling by. Buy a new printer. Andre DeGoyer, you are such trouble. That's all I can possibly say. Is there only 4 people here? I haven't looked to see who's turned up here. No, we have more people here. I need to see more than 4 submissions. What am I looking for? This. Vegas Brent passes with with an answer. Okay. I may or may not choose to allow passing. It depends. We got an Epson for sale with a good discount here since there's no box. An Epson what? Is it a Epson was the king of dot matrix printers forever. I had an Epson inkjet that lasted for some years, but when it died, there was no hope for it. Edgar, you can pass, but you got to try, put an answer up and then pass, right? An inkjet. Okay, say bye-bye. Nah, there's still room for inkjets in the world. Somebody posted a question to me the other day on Udemy probably that said, you guys don't talk enough about troubleshooting thermal printers. I have a job where we have to troubleshoot thermal printers all the time. Why don't you talk enough about that? And I wrote him back. I said, because while there's 1 or 2 questions that we are aware of with respect to troubleshooting thermal printers on the CompTIA exams, I'm not going to do a 30-minute presentation on troubleshooting thermal printers to deal with those 2 questions. And that's what happens to all of us, right? We got expertise in some area. If I were the type, I'd be posting questions. How come you never talk about Raspberry Pis? I know a lot about Raspberry Pis. It doesn't help. All right. I've vamped for enough time. We got plenty of entries in here. The correct answer, let's go slide this over to the correct answer, is make sure the cartridge shipping tab has been removed. So when you buy toner, there's a little plastic strip on there that's on single-sided tape. And if you don't remove that, sometimes they pull out of a slot, sometimes they peel back, whatever, then the toner can't come out. That's the first thing you can do. That is not the only possible explanation in this list of answers for a totally blank sheet. One of them would be replace the corona, but which is easier? Dive right in and start replacing the corona? No, I think I'll check and make sure that that tab has been removed, that tape has been removed first. Reinstalling the driver is not going to help. Shaking, if it were fading, but if your very first test is I got nothing, then shaking is probably not going to help us out. So for the winner, I have not seen this person win in the past. Rihanna Minge, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I apologize if I'm not. Rihanna Minge, I have just posted to the chat feed what I'm going to describe to you on this very page, how to claim your winnings. I know you can't see it, stand by. you're going to send an email to me at my company address, davr@totalsem.com. And in the body of that email, you must include 4 pieces of information. No shortcuts. No, just like the email in my header, same name as my YouTube name. No, I need 4 separate boxes, lines with facts in them. So in the body email, tell me your YouTube name, Ryan Minge, your real name, given name, your first name and your surname, your email address where you want me to send your credentials to, and which practice test you would like Total Tester online practice test exam for. Okay, so it's going to be 220, 10OX, I'm sorry, 11OX, 10OX if you want, N10008, whatever the exam number is, please. Go to totalsem.com, go take a look at all of the tests that are available, practice tests, pick one from there, and then send me that email. I need that email, please, in the next 24 hours, preferably today. Thank you, and congratulations, Ryan Image, who is working 18 miles as the crow flies from where I am sitting at this very instant. Is there anything else on that page that I need? No. So let's close her down here. All right, how we doing? We got about 10 more minutes of showtime left. Good time to ask more questions if you have any. Passing to Edgar is multitasking. Yeah, if you were truly multitasking, you'd be pulling the tab while you were changing out the Corona. Corona, shame on you. Andre, this is a stream about computers and software, not vegetables and fruit. Let's repost a couple of things here because everybody always needs all of these things. I'm going to give you Mike's email and his LinkedIn. If you're not following Mike, if you're not linked with him, he wants you to do that. He posts all kinds of information all week long, especially as he's part of National Cyber Group now. They have lots of things that he wants to share with you about that. How about the discount program for this week? Buy Total Tester and matching ebook at 50% off using the code Volcano. And let's get the Discord invitation back up. I'll pop on Discord for a couple of minutes after the show today, see what's going on there. And is there anything else worth on this page that I want to share with you? Yeah, what the heck, I'll throw my email and my LinkedIn if you're not following me on LinkedIn, or if you haven't linked with me, by all means, please do. I too post many interesting things, I hope. Sometimes just the reposts are worth it. People send me great information all the time, and I'm happy to repost it. Yeah. Now we can do this. I do that, and then I lose track. Apple Talk, you're such a jerk. Because we haven't laid down the foundations for Apple Talk with local talk. Oh, I just have to teach that. Mike mentions in the past, I should keep this by my desk because I actually have the box out. We're cleaning out the garage. I have my old CNE certificates and my CNI, my Certified Netware Instructor certificates, in a box 7 steps away. And back in those days when we were teaching networking, we were teaching local talk. You had to remember that there was a maximum of 32 devices, and I taught that so much. I didn't need my instructor manual anymore. I knew every page in order, every word on every page. I could recite it and include the same jokes right here between this line and that line. Man, I was teaching that like 3-4 times a week for 2 years. I just, and I do miss it. I love it. I love all that topic. Oh, congrats, Roger. Wilco. Dave missed the comments that led up the fruit comment. I did not. Sometimes I'm smart enough not to read out loud what you write. David Zintera, what would be the symptom of a failed transfer Corona wire? Black pages usually, not smudges. Remember, the job of the Corona wire is to put the pre-charge that falls between the charge on the paper and the charge on the toner. So it provides light attraction to paper and the drum. It puts the charge on the drum so that it will be attracted appropriately after the before we write on it. So if you don't put the pre-charge on there with the corona wire, it has this massive positive charge relative to the toner, which is massively negative, and the toner will just coat the drum and it'll turn black. However, the pre-charge wire, if you don't do that, that'll make it all white. Life was, in fact, simpler. Listening to that song growing up as a kid, always heard fact, you know, because you're a kid, we don't know the Beatles. And then troubleshooting printers is my weakness. So let's mention that. A lot of people say troubleshooting printers is my weakness. I want to say two things about that. First and foremost, there are a few questions about troubleshooting printers that aren't laser printers, but not many. I'm trying to think here, reasons that you might have an insufficiently formed character for a percussion printer, what's the right name for it? Thank you. Dot matrix, thank you. So sometimes the solenoid that pushes the pin that presses against the ribbon and makes an impression on the paper, one pin can fail. And so you'll get a hole or something like that. And as A+ technicians, we are not going to fix that problem. We're going to pop the head out, pop the new head in, off we go. There's a handful of questions about dot matrix printers. The ribbon runs dry of ink, you run out of ribbon. The rubber roller, which is called a platen. Everybody, there are questions and there's a term, platen, on the test. And so if the platen doesn't get reseated correctly when you service it, or it can pop out, instead of it having a nice level surface on the roller, one side kicks up. And so the print head does this, and it gets fainter as it goes along and disappears, or other way around, starts out non-existent, and then as it gets in, it goes down. Those are the kinds of questions you're going to run into on dot matrix. But most of the questions about printers fall into two areas. One is mechanical process. Know the printing process. There's 6 steps from exposure to developing and all that good stuff. I don't have them memorized. It's been a long time since I've had to do that. And even though I said 2, that's it. That is the only kinds of printer troubleshooting stuff you're going to get. Things that are related to the mechanical process of printing. Is that 100% true? No. There's also going to be questions about resetting the spooler. Okay, you got to know, we cover this in all of our classes and all of our books in great detail about which service to stop and restart so you can clear the spooler and start over. Cool bananas. Now, 2 other things that you got to know about printers. CompTIA uses printers as a basis for a lot of other types of questions. Jimmy can't print to the printer. Why? And there's nothing in there about, I'm out of toner, I got a problem with my corona wire, I've got to clean my pickup brushes. They're networking questions. Is the printer shared correctly? Okay, that's not a printer question, that's a networking question. And they do this with all kinds of subtopics and subdomains. They include printers as kind of a foundation on which to build these questions that really have nothing to do with printers. So watch out for that. Get to know the laser printer printing process really well. Get to know the parts and maintenance on them. Know the symptoms that require you to change out a fuser. Know what a fuser is. Know laser printers. The rest of it, you know, good to know. But if you've got to sacrifice something, yeah, I got to test in 3 days and I'm weak on printing. Fine, sacrifice thermal printing, at least as far as troubleshooting goes. How much time I got here? I got about a minute. Let me wind up these last questions and close things up. Some of these things I am not going to read. I'm just going to zip through. Buy another questions like that seem to be about printers, are actually questions about sharing on the network. Thank you. Reading my mind again, TD Washington. Thanks. Edgar, well, at work, they have huge Konica Xerox. Yeah, they don't have questions about the big banner printers and things like that. They do have technology questions about what's the right printer for printing on a cup, a dye sub printer, dye sublimation. Look at the internet, find a used printers. The ones that don't work are the cheapest. All right, well, let's wind this thing up. It is Monday. I will be doing this again, keeping the big seat warm on Wednesday. Mike may or may not join us. Hope he does. And then we'll be back again Friday, because we do that for drama. Hopefully we will have no Russian spammers and scammers again in. Let's wind this thing up then. From all of us at Total Seminars, this has been the Mike Meyers Ask Me Anything show. I'm Dave Rush, senior instructor, sitting in the big chair and being the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident pie specialist. Mike shall be back for his regular shows next week for sure. Wish you all a great rest of the week. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. And if at all possible, call or visit your parents. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And with that, good night. I'll pop over to Discord in a few minutes, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Later.